Lions TV, we are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors that you can see on the screen right now. If you are going to do a bit of business in 2023, then please keep it in the Millwall family by checking out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below or on our website www.lionstv.co.uk. This is your post-match analysis video for yesterday's unbelievable 3-2 win against Sheffield United at the Den. It's a game that had absolutely everything and one of the best I've ever seen at the Den, and very shortly I'll be telling you, well, probably quite over a long period, I'll be telling you why that was the case. As always, let's start out by taking a look at the 11 that the gaffer picked to get the job done. And so 3 changes were made from the team that lost 1-0 at Cov in midweek. 1 forced, 2 not so much. Duncan Watmore surprisingly dropped out and was unsurprisingly replaced by Ollie Burke, who's been pressing for a start. Maybe the big one that was contentious was Andreas Volsammer coming in place of George Honeyman, who's played well in recent weeks. And the forced change was Billy Mitchell out. I'm hearing he's hurt his hamstring. And they got to wait for a scan on that one. I won't say any more. And in came Jamie Shackleton. And oh my fucking God, he was unbelievable. Let's put a team sheet on the screen now. I'll just really quickly go through each of the players. Unfortunately, there you go. I've got to start with George Long. We're going to talk about that one in a little more detail in a minute. Danny Mack, full solid as always. Murray Wallace, okay, yeah, solid enough as always. Charlie Creswell's really come on leaps and bounds. He was involved in the second goal for Sheffield United, but I'm going to get onto that shortly. Captain Coops, superb, love him. George Saville just seems to get, unlike me, fitter with age. He's just an absolute engine, an absolute machine. Alongside him, as I've already said, Jamie Shackleton literally could barely walk when he came off that pitch, and that is all we ever asked for as a fan base. In front of them, Zian Fleming was back to near his best. Very composed, very strong on the ball, protecting it really well, driving through the middle and linking the forward play really well. And on the left-hand side, Ollie Burke, no, he's on the right, Ollie Burke, whichever you like. Ollie Burke's probably on the right, wasn't he? Really good, really strong, really powerful. Could be a great player for us going forward. Left-hand side, Andreas Volsammer. First half, not so great. Second half, I'm going to get onto because it's just literally ridiculous how good he became over 20 minutes. And up front, do I need to even say it? Nurture him, back him, feed the Bradshaw. And he will score, and he scored 3 more goals. His second hat-trick on Sky this season. Gary Rowett actually went a little bit of stand-up at post-match. Gary Rowett saying, oh, he blew his missus a kiss. The boys have been on him for that, and I'm going to put some fake Sky cameras in the ground because every time they're here, he scores a hat-trick. Of course, it's nearly his 3rd hat-trick of the season. One game that wasn't on TV. We won. Can't remember the score. Can't remember who we played. But he scored 2, and then there was an own goal, which he didn't get credited with. But he had the initial shot. But hat-tricks on TV against Watford. And now yesterday, unbelievable. Honestly, the game had absolutely everything. I was close to tears yesterday in my full-time reaction. Completely drained today. Voice is gone. But my God, was it worth it? Let's get into the game. We start on the front foot. We're all out. We seem like we want to go for the jugular, but we're on it. A few of the players have said in their post-match videos, we just knew we was on it. It was a great crowd at the Den. Nowhere near what I was expecting it to be, if I'm honest, and that's all credit to all of us that turned up. Early kick-off on telly off the back of the Cov result. And that's not even we don't want to go sometimes. It's fucking expensive to go, especially with 7 games in 16 days or whatever it was I kept banging on about. Some people, and a lot of people are going to Stoke next week, and I'll be one of them. I have to save money for these other games. I can't afford to go them all. We got Burnley at home on Tuesday. It's not cheap, as we know, but brilliant in numbers, great atmosphere. Sheffield United, fair play to them. Off the back of a bad result, they filled the top tier as well. And it just had everything. It was a brilliant advert for Championship football. And I kept forgetting it was on telly. And then when I thought back, last night and then this morning, I was like, fucking hell, that must have been unbelievable to watch on the box. And you know what? I may well treat myself to it after I finish filming this video and editing it. But look, let's get into the game. We was on the front foot, we come forward, and I know some of you already saying, and I was saying it, for 10 minutes in, we've already been better here than we was at Cov. Why can't we do this in every game? Well, some days, in your life or at work, you'll have a bad day and it just won't happen for you. We've all been there. It happens. You're just not firing. And for whatever reason, it hasn't happened at Cov, but we was back on it yesterday. And I see something again on the Sky Stats that I think we haven't lost back-to-back games in the league for a long, long time. So that's credit to Rowett, that's credit to the players. And I go back to something that Tony Warner told me a long, long time ago that Mark McGee used to do. He used to go, look, we've lost that game, don't worry. Chalk it off, forget it. We need X amount of points from this block of games. And we bounced back again yesterday with vengeance, on the front foot, straight into the action, early chance. I think it was Burke actually fed Tom Bradshaw, opens up his body, just sort of tries to flick it past their goalkeeper, and it comes off his legs. He should have done better. He will know that. Right now, none of us fucking care. But at the time, I remember saying in my live stream commentary, thanks again, by the way, if you did tune in, people from all over the world on board with it. I always back him, but I needed more from him on that occasion. I'm not sure whether that was just before or just after he went in with a challenge with their keeper and their keeper was injured. And I don't want to discredit Bradshaw or our result or performance, but I feel that could have played a part because their keeper I thought was going to go off. If you watch the replays again, he lands funny on his foot, he just twists it slightly, but he carried on. But when Bradshaw does break the deadlock, it comes from George Long, brilliant throw out quickly to Ollie Burke, he's not just quick, he's fucking powerful and he's strong. And you wouldn't want an angry Ollie Burke running directly at you, especially in his day-to-day clobber. Millwall kit, probably not so scary. He flies through the middle, and this is what I've said time and time again, not just banging the Bradshaw drum, because I got one right finally. The different types of service and supply that Watmore and Burke, and in craziness in this game as well, Volkshammer, gave Bradshaw. 70-yard balls up to him with a 6'4" centre-half up his arse ain't no good. Balls into the channel. Aerial battles that he can't win. Different types of service now with these new types of players. And I said on deadline day, I was over the moon with both of them signings. And I stand by that, and I think they will prove to be very, very critical. Let's say that. And then he does exactly that. Instead of Burke stopping and going wide to someone 2 yards, and then someone else going 2 yards back and knocking a long high hanger into the box, he doesn't do it. Bradshaw knows Burke's got more quality than previous players may have had. No disrespect to any of them playing that position. And he runs along the line of the defence on the blind side. Burke slots it in. It's them balls I talk about all the time. Them little beauties in that gap where, you've got a player here and you've got a striker behind you. You fucking kind of eyes on the back of your head. Bradshaw runs onto it. Absolute head down, techers, hands there, getting the hand up like Roy Passy used to say. Get your shape right. If you know, you know. And smashes it past the goalkeeper. I now will say this. Brilliant finish. He can't do any more. I was surprised it went in as easy as it did. But it was a great strike. If that's George Long letting in that goal, I'm going mad. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm not sure whether the injury from the earlier challenge that I said about played a part in that. Who knows? But look, we dominate the first half. Shackleton, unbelievable. Saville, unbelievable. The two centre-backs and Creswell, look, I've hated on him quite strongly, and now I feel bad because they've both been brilliant without really getting tested. And again, Sheffield United come off the back of a bad result, of course, to Middlesbrough. They was 10 points clear. It looked like it was uncatchable alongside Burnley, and now they're getting clawed back. The pressure is now starting to creep in. And I don't feel, and again, I don't want to take anything away from us. I thought that was terrible first half, Sheffield United. They couldn't string two passes together. But look, that can't all be down to them, right? If they're not on it. On top of that, we didn't let them settle. We was in their faces. We was on top. We was the better side. We just kept coming forward, pouring forward. And the amount of sheer excitement we had and desire and quality and the amount of chances we created does niggle at me thinking, well, why just could we not do that commentary? And I've said it already to contradict myself. I know you have bad days at the office, but how can it go from fucking up there to down here and then reverse? It's done. Look, it's done. We lost Cobb. We didn't dwell on it. We moved on. And we should have been 3-4-0 up at half time. The one that Bradshaw is adjudged to be offside, again, officials. And I hate saying it. Officials fuck us over in this division. I don't know what's going on. I don't know whether they hate on Millwall, because they feel intimidated at Millwall. If you feel intimidated, you'd give us more, wouldn't you? You wouldn't give us less. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Conspiracy theory, let me know in the comments. But Tom Bradshaw gets in front of their keeper. He's late. Wipes Bradshaw out. Stonewall penalty. No, offside. On the replay, you can clearly see not offside. No VAR in the Championship. Said it a million times before. We would probably be winning the league. Or if not already been promoted a couple of seasons ago from other decisions. But look, we didn't let that deter us. We carried on. However, They get back into it. The rain starts to fall in SE16. And if you can be bothered to go back and check over the live stream, I called it with the goal. I called it with the goalkeeper. And this is one now that I feel bad because I did call him when he let the goal in, a cappuccino coffee making, which I apologise for because I shouldn't be that aggressive. But goalkeepers in particular, I haven't got my Lily Shaw troll letter, but it's up there somewhere, raging. Football to me is everything. But when it comes to goalkeepers, I know my shit, unfortunately. Believe me or not, I don't care. But those who know me will know I do. And the biggest thing in the world for goalkeepers is consistency. And he has none. And the free kick's been given. And Cooper, the stupid thing that some of our fans said on the stream, on the comments, well, it weren't a foul. Firstly, it was a foul. Cooper wiped him out. Secondly, well, our keeper's shit, but we should have had a free kick 2 minutes ago. This will come back to bite us in the arse. If he does not take long out of goal, and we'll get onto the second half in a minute, it will come back to bite us in the arse. We've got to have it now. He's made, I reckon, I was considering digging him out and editing it, but I don't want to go down that route. About 8 mishaps in goal since he's come in. He's not really done a lot right. He's done a lot wrong. He can kick the ball fucking miles. That doesn't do anything for us, really. A couple of times it does. But you can't base a fucking promotion push on a goalkeeper and kick it halfway down fucking Nilton Road. It ain't no good to me. And you have to have consistency as a goalkeeper. It's the biggest thing in the book. Tim Flower said it once. It's not about who makes the most saves. It's about who makes the least mistakes. And if you don't take him out, Gaffer, right, it will come back. It nearly did it yesterday. And it nearly did it at QPR. Luckily, he was 2-0 at QPR. Big goalkeepers. We need a big goalkeeper in big games, in big moments. And strangely enough, Jordan Archer popped into my head with a save at Wembley against Bradford. The only thing he ever did for the club. But look, he is going to fuck us over in this running unless you take him out the side. He isn't up to the standard of football. I'm sorry. And I know you'll all bang on about saves he made in the second half. 1-on-1 early, good, redeemed himself. A couple of the others, the saves I expect my goalkeeper to make. The little cross in from Danny Mack and comes off Danny Mack and he's going the wrong way. He's only got to put his hand there and tip it. Good save, but that is what he is there for. And Bart Balkowski's not letting in that free kick as long as I've got a hole in my arse, which I have. I called it before it happened. He seems to dive, fully project, but even by the time he's dived full length, he's not even halfway made it across the goal. I don't know what his starting position is. We've actually got a photo of it. There you go. There is his starting position. And he's getting two hands on things. So it's return of the old Poppadom wrist, isn't it? If you get two hands on something as a goalkeeper, he even did it at Rotherham away when they scored a penalty. And you can't really put penalties down to goalkeepers letting them in. But if you watch that Rotherham penalty back, he dives full blast and he pushes it with two hands in his net. Sunderland, he's pushing things and he's going through his body and his hands. He's fucking made, I don't know if he lifted his shirt up, he's made out of a polo or something, I don't know. But he's done it, the first ever game he come in for Bart. In goal, I think we won 2-1 at the Den. Shot straight at him and he's pushing two hands and he's got fucking nothing in his gloves. And he's nearly cost us again. And I was raging. And then that coupled in with the bad decision from the ref just before half time. We should have gone in at half time there, standing ovation, players chest out, and when we're fucking buzzing, and we haven't. We've gone in a little bit down, a little bit fucking tetchy, booing the fucking referee. Goalkeeper's getting called everything, mainly from me. And I mean, going at half time 1-1, we should be in front. Second half, we come out. Sheffield United got into their rhythm a little bit. And again, for me, this is why it was such a great game, because big teams have come to the Den. I'm not calling Sheffield United a big team. I'm not calling them a small team. I mean, bigger teams have come to the Den. And we've beat them. Or we've lost games. But rarely do you see us involved in a ding-dong like that. Everton, yes, where we end up getting the upper hand. And we just kept coming back and kept coming back. And going back on the attack. You know, we was in front twice in the game. I'm saying, once they pegged us back, you don't usually see us then come forward again, especially twice. And then we get going in the second half, and Volksammer turns into fucking, I don't know, prime Ryan Giggs with a right foot. We start picking them apart. And again, as good as we were, I don't want to do us a disjustice, but they had fucking, mind the gap, they had fucking gaps everywhere in their defence. I don't know whether, you know, the pressure's sneaking on them, or 2 games in 4 days we've had the same. I don't know. But for a side that are so strong in this division, so well drilled, they had a lot of fucking gaps everywhere in their defence. But look, again, we pick them apart with goals that I see on the telly every week and go, Why don't we ever score goals like that? It's a brilliant team goal. Fleming was turning them over high up the pitch all game. He played a massive part in that. I would like to see him arrive late in the box at times as well. He only ever tries to score from 30 yards. But that regardless, he was turning them over really well, high up the pitch and feeding. He feeds Volsammer, who puts in a brilliant cross. My man Tom Bradshaw, unbelievable. He blows the kisses to the stand. I thought it was for me. Unfortunately, it wasn't. His missus was 2 boxes down, and it was for her and his lovely little girl. So, fair play to him. Apparently, he's got a bit of shit from the boys for that one. But there you go. A little bit of a late Valentine's present for Mrs. B. But look, a fucking brilliant header. It's behind him, his body shape, and they are the balls that we want into the box. Get to the edge of the box, and then whip those balls in. A great cross, a great fucking header. And we're 2-1 up. The goalkeeper was unlucky to not get there. He's scrambling, but he was right in the corner. And we're 2-1 up. After that, this is when it starts to creep in. The fans on the back. Because Sheffield United come forward, yes. And where everyone's going, Oak's doing it as well. Get up the fucking pitch. Because it seemed like we were sitting back. But this is what I say. You know, was we sitting back? Sheffield United, been in the Prem, big club in this division. You can't say it, they aren't. They're fucking right up there in second place and was well clear before this weekend's shenanigans. They're going to come at us. They've got fucking top tier of fans there. It was all rolling around with each other. Makes a change for someone else to be doing it for once. But yeah, it was a brilliant atmosphere. Everything. And they got the fans behind them. They're away from home. They've got Middlesbrough up their arsehole and they need to get something on the board. So they then come back up. So I don't think it's a case of Rowett saying, we scored and everyone going and perching our half. I don't think that's the case. And for whatever reason, they was forcing us back. We was struggling to get out. And eventually, they get the equaliser. Long makes a really good one-on-one save with his legs early in the half. Then that one I said where it deflects and he dives, but he gets it on his near post quickly and just pushes it around. Great, okay, well done. But I strongly believe by this point, if you hadn't have done what you'd done in the first half, we'd probably be 2-0 up. So it's sort of self-inflicted in a way from Long. But regardless, they get the goal back. I've watched it in real time, thought that looks weak. I was at the other end of course, I was near the Cold Blow Lane in my mate Rob's box. Big shout out to him and his missus Vicky for having us in the box. We had a little overflow in our box this week, so I let one of the other boys have his old man in, and I went down and joined the party further down. And it was good to be on a different angle thing to see it from the Cold Blow Lane. But obviously now, I usually would have been at that end for the Sheffield United equaliser, and I wasn't. So I was a long way away from it, and I thought, that looked weak, that looked soft. On reflection, do you know what? They got a low knee from Man City, and it's just a good goal. And yes, he goes past Charlie Creswell. Creswell dives in. I don't really blame him for it, if I'm honest. One thing you can say about Creswell, if his show reel might not be completely real, and the height wasn't 100% real, he does give everything he's got, he always has for us. And he dives in. I think he had to try, and it's just good feet from, is it McAtee? I think his name is, the Man City loanee. Puts it high into the net. Now, at that point, I'm done. Head's gone. Shitting myself, shaking, because I thought this point we would lose now. That's usually at the point where we would either 1, lose, or 2, just hang on, and nick a point. But we didn't do that. We came again. I think substitutions were made at that point. Ryan Leonard comes on. Done well when he came on, along with others. I can't even remember who came on, to be honest. I was that far gone. I was sober, by the way. I'm not talking lagging. I'm talking just invested in the game. I actually kept getting up and walking away from the laptop. I forgot what I was doing at points. I was so into this game. And then eventually we get the winner again. It's a little bit of a soft one, the way it came about. I think it goes downfield. Sort of Cooper goes up for it. Look, Cooper's up 2-2 and Cooper's up trying to win the game for us there. So it just shows you that when people go, Rowett wanted to sit back, I don't think he did. You know, our home form is phenomenal. I don't think we've lost, I think since QPR at home, I think we're 10 games now at home without defeat, which is really good. And with our away form being now what it is and picking up, it's no surprise we are where we are, and potentially higher going in after the midweek games. But ball downfield, and it sort of comes off Cooper, and Fleming sort of throws a foot at it, and it goes through to Volsammer. This is what I'm saying. Good for us, brilliant for us, fair play to us, but gaps everywhere in the Sheffield United defence. Were they committing to try and get more people forward to try and win the game themselves? They would have been, maybe, but it doesn't matter. It falls to Volsammer, who puts it on a plate, and Bradshaw just puts on the fucking, what's it called, like the fucking night vision button, and he just eludes everyone. He just walks in at the back, middle of the goal. Just walks in there. Volsammer finds him, and he nearly fucking missed it. He didn't show that from the telly angle, really, but I was right behind, looking at them buns perched, He definitely wears them shorts a size too small for extra. Anyway, and he goes to knock it in. It sort of comes off the bottom of his studs and goes in, and it's pandemonium. It's 3-2. We win the game, and we're rocking all over the world, and it was fucking absolutely brilliant. I loved every minute, and I'd do it all again tomorrow if he'd let me, but I can't, because tomorrow I'll have to bring you a preview, because we've got league leaders Burnley at home on Tuesday. The games are coming thick and fast. That is your post-match analysis done. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I haven't missed anything out. I most definitely will have done. But don't be shy, let me know what it is in the comments below, and I'll be back tomorrow for a preview. As I said, we face league leaders Burnley at the Den on Tuesday night. But what a game. What a fucking game. That's the one thing I was going to say, and I'll end it on this. I always reflect back to the Neil Harris era and go, Harris gave us this, Harris gave us that. And I think it was my old mate Nick from the Acton podcast that very rightly said on Twitter, that is a game that will be remembered from the Rowett era. And that is absolutely nailed on. That's what that was yesterday. That's a game you will always look back to and go, years down the line. Memories from Gary Rowett. Remember the time we fucking beat Sheffield United at home. What a game. What a day. What an advert for the division. What a fucking football team. Let's hope they don't revert back to Coventry-esque on Tuesday against Burnley. Preview up tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.